All right, what's up, people? I mean, fuck. This is going to have to be probably my last video on Buddhism. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to title this a certain kind of way, and you'll see the way I title it, what have you. This is not going to be my last. I always threaten my last video, you know. It's going to be the last video I ever do. No, this is not going to be the last video I ever do, but it's probably going to be the last video that I do on Buddhism, but not sequentially. So there's still a lot more to go through. So I did 401, the Taras. There's still a lot more to go through on the 400 level, but let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get to the fucking black belt level, okay? Let's just go ahead and get to the end game. Well, I mean, of course Tony Stark dies. Spoilers. No, but seriously. There is a concept called Advaita, which is central to, it's central to both Hindu schools and Buddhist schools because they come from the same underlying tradition. But to understand that, what you really have to understand is what might be termed fundamental dualism. And the concept behind that is rather simple. If you examine your own, how should I say this, placement in the world, immediately, as soon as I say that, I'm poisoning the well. And this is what Buddhism tries to teach you, is that all these concepts are constantly poisoning the well. But if I say, that's also poison, these are the poisons. These are the 5 poisons. If I say that you are existing within a world of objects, then automatically I've poisoned the well. This is what's known as fundamental dualism. So what you're going to think of immediately is you're going to think that there is some you, some fundamental you, which to you would be an I, just the capital I, you know, the capital I. That's you. That's yourself. Now, I've already dealt with this in Anatman, which is the denial of the self. But we're not just denying the self when we get to Advaita. We're denying the dichotomy of self versus world, which is apparent. So the fact that, and when I do these videos and the way I do them now is interesting because you don't see me, you see me looking at the world. So there's a me in here, and then there's a world out there, right? That's what's known as the fundamental dichotomy. And what the ultimate teaching tells us is that is not really a dichotomy. That does not exist. On the basest of levels, that does not exist. It's an illusion. Now, the question is, where does that come from? How does that happen? How does it happen that I'm walking around a house full of shit, full of fucking icons and fucking, you know what I did? I'm going to tell you a story. There used to be something hanging right there. It was a picture of Jesus. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be straight up fucking honest with you. My wife's grandmother is dying, stage 4 cancer. I took that picture of Jesus and I gave it to her as a power object. Not because I think it's going to extend her life. It will not. But because I think that there are things that you can do to understand that when you're going inside of this fucking thing that we're inside of and you think you're inside of it, that's the duality. It's a false duality. It doesn't really exist. Oh yeah, but how about them Cowboys? I had to say that. 2-0. You know what I'm saying? But see, just by me saying that, just by me being samsarically devolved into rooting for a football team, I'm showing you where the dichotomy is. Material versus what might be called spiritual or internal or meditative or that kind of thing. The ultimate level says, boom, that doesn't exist. That's a false dichotomy. All of this around us that we want to think of as material or composed of atoms. And then we know the numbers for those. And that's very good. You want to know the numbers for everything. Because the numbers just tell you which multiverse you're in, right? So we know the numbers. And then we think that somehow makes this reality material. But it doesn't. And then the people that critique that, they critique that aspect of it. They want to say everything is spiritual or everything is mind. It's not that either. This is why the Tantras teach that there are two fundamental paths, P-A-T-H-S. Sorry, I'm a little bit sticky on my, saliva today. But there are two fundamental paths towards poison, which is to understand the world incorrectly and then to be ensnared by it. This is why Advaita is the teaching. This is why non-duality is the teaching. Here's what you do. And I could show you a lot of different ways to do this, teachings of ways to do this. But if you really, really meditate on the fundamental nature of material reality and search after that in your meditations, what does it mean to be made of matter? Now, we already know this because the fucking physicists have done this for us, and they've shown us that all of this apparent reality is composed mostly of empty space. We've known that for a long time. So it is essentially an illusion. And so if you're looking at this, if you're looking at the panorama of perceptive reality and you're observing this, understand that everything that you're really observing is kind of an illusion drawn over your eyes. This was called Maya within the Buddhist teaching. This is Maya. This is basically illusion. That's the translation. So we see it. It's apparent. It looks like it's there. I can see it. You can see it. Shit, I get in my car and drive on it. You know what I mean? And if shit goes wrong, I die on it. I can die on a fucking busted ass vehicle, or I could die on a fucking broken ass knife that's stuck in my backside if I did the wrong way. But that doesn't reify anything, and that's the fucking point. Apparency is reality. And that's when you get to non-duality. You know what? This is about to be a 10-minute video. I think I'm going to make a part 2 on this. Because y'all attention spans suck.